going on, people? Welcome to United View. It's time for another fan you to get the opinions of the match-going fans here at Old Trafford. And today's video is about Anthony Martial. There's a lot of news, there's a lot of talk about his future, and I want to see what the fans have to say and how they really feel about the situation. Let's take a look at what they have to say. Martial, how do you see it? Do you see it as he can rekindle his form? There's some noises that he might get sold in January if the right offer comes in. How do you see it?
For me, he's one of them players. He's either up for it or not up for it, and more often than not, he's not been up for it recently. You look last season, season before, he's bagging goals left, right, and centre, and obviously now he's just missing. I don't know what's gone on. Whether it's been some of the like Cavani coming in or something like that taking his place. Greenwood's in form, he's just not getting a look into the team really.
Now we've got Ronaldo, even Lingard's playing ahead of him.
Yeah, I rate Lingard massively. A lot of the fans give him stick, but he kept true to himself. He went to West Ham, showing what he can do, and he's back firing again. So
on Martial, has he been unfairly treated? There is an argument that some people say he's always had to be pulled from pillar to post. He's never had a chance at a mainstay, or do you not see that?
For me, with Ollie, he either plays him as a 9 or he plays him out wide. Like with Rashford goes out on the left. That's his preferred position. But Martial, you've got to play him as a 9 for me. I think so. You've seen some of his goals a couple of seasons ago, and that's where his best position's been. So I think keep him there.
January, 40 million. Say he comes in for Martial. What are you doing? Are you turning it down? Or are you taking it?
Not taking it. Keeping him. Because wherever he goes, he's going to bag 100%. If he goes to PSG, he'll start bagging them in 100%. He will. I think he will anyway.
Okay. You know what? I like Martial. It's like the commentator said before, like 2 seasons ago. If he goes, you're scared of what he's going to become. You don't want him to go to another club and start banging for them. You know, to stick with us and see what he becomes in it.
But what if he's not going to get the game time here? Like, is that a good enough reason to still keep him? The fact that he might go somewhere else and score, even if he's not playing, would Martial be happy with that? Maybe playing a bit part here or there?
See, it depends on how he feels about it. If he likes the club and he wants to stay, fair enough. But if he wants to go, it's his decision, isn't it? He's a player.
Do you think he's proved that we can rely on him?
In certain times, in certain case scenarios, when he's in form, he's banging goals. When he's not, he's just your average player, really.
50 million comes in from him in January, or 40 million comes in from him in January. I know you said about, not wanting to go somewhere else, but if someone slapped the money on the table in January and we're doing well without him hardly playing, are you trying to keep him to try and get some more out of him, or are you selling him?
See, he's 26, yeah?
Yeah. He's probably about that, 25, 26.
26. See, it's like I said, you don't need to go, say PSG or somewhere, and having banging goals in it. But then again, there's money on the table, and we got players in already, and we have money to get other players. I look at Haaland when he goes on a free transfer as well for one. There's plenty of options other than Martial.
So you're saying, yeah, you would? I feel like you're saying you probably...
Unfortunately.
What do you think's going to happen, though? In all honesty, do you think he'll see out this season and see how it goes? Do you think there's a chance he could go in January?
Me personally, I think he'll be here for another season. It's Martial. He loves the club. He loves his guys. He loves Rashi and everyone. But if he feels like he wants game time and he's not getting it, he ain't got a choice. He has no choice in it. The best for his career.
For me, Martial. For me, he's got to stay. We're tackling many fronts. You see, you know what I mean? Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and obviously the league as well. I believe we need the squad that we've got now. That's what we need. That's why I was so glad that Lingard didn't go, because you see, it's perfect, because you see how Sancho's having a slow start. We can afford that because we've got Lingard.
That's a really good point.
You see what I mean? And then we still got Rashford to come back. You see what I mean? And obviously Greenwood could do his bits out on the wing, or depending on the injury crisis or the competition, up top. You see what? I'm a man that I like flexibility. You know what I mean? You give me a few tools and stuff like that, I could do many different things with it. You see what I mean? So from a player aspect, Martial, I don't want him to go anywhere, because believe me, he's going to have his moments where we'll need him up top, left wing and stuff like that. I know we can put Rashford out on the left wing. I know we can put Sancho maybe on the left as well, but also on the right, Lingard and whatever. We've got all these players, but
you want that depth.
I want that depth.
So okay, so that's fine. So from a player perspective of having the options, or the team perspective, I hear that. What do you think Martial will feel on an individual basis? Because that's fine, we're fans, innit? So we want, I agree with you, we want as much pool to pick from as possible. How do you think Martial will see it if he looks at it and says, well, Rashford's ahead of me on the left, Lingard's ahead of me on the left, Sancho's ahead of me on the left, and I'm third choice striker now because Ronaldo and Cavani are ahead of me.
Cavani.
And he gets to January and he's only got, say, I don't know, 4 or 5 starts, all games like today.
That's because it's as simple as that. He's got all these players ahead of him, yeah? First thing he's got to do is look in the mirror and look at himself and say, right, have I done enough to be ahead of these players? If the answer is no, then it's obvious what he needs to do. He needs to go out and perform. Yes, in order to perform, you need to be given the opportunity. You see what I mean? I fully understand that. But with, again, like I said, with all the competitions we're playing in, he's going to get games to do that. But when he gets that opportunity, he's got to hit the ground running and give the problem to Ollie. You see what I'm saying?
What do you say to fans who say Martial's had his chance, he hasn't proved that he's reliable, he's not a reliable goal scorer, when he's on it, he's on it, when he's not, so I'll pass. What do you say to those fans?
I say to those fans, you see, okay, here's the thing. 2 things with me. I don't forget, and I have a lot of patience. So with the I don't forget part, I don't forget when Martial banged in over 20 goals in that season.
Season before last, yeah.
Exactly. The patience side of it comes into it is because I know what he's done, which means I know what he's capable of. Which means if you've done something, there's a chance you could do it again. You know what I mean? It's very easy to do something you've done before, but it's very hard to do something you haven't done before. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that aspect, I definitely believe there's a player there in Martial. I don't want him to go anywhere. I believe from a starting 11 aspect in the league, no.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit that, no.
And
You know
at
what I mean?
this present moment,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like he's close to that.
Exactly. But is every player going to stay fit? Is every player going to not be suspended and stuff like that? No, there's going to be moments where we are going to need him. So trust me, cameraman, let's trust me when I say, people, Martial will come good because we've seen what he's done before and he is more than capable of doing it again.
So hopefully it don't get to end of the season and he's got like 0 goals. Like,
That ain't gonna happen.
yeah.
That ain't gonna happen. You know what?
I want him to do well, so every will do.
He gonna score tonight. You heard it here first, people.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Martial, maybe not first goal scorer, but he will score tonight.
I'm here with Sean all the way from Canada, coming making the trip. Love that. Come to see the Reds play. He's got Martial on the back of his shirt as well. Yes, so I think I know how this conversation is going to go. How do you see the Anthony Martial situation? Do you see him getting game time? Do you see him leaving? Do you see him staying? How do you see his future?
So I think he's going to be a good option to have on the left. I think he's tried that role up top in the striker position and it hasn't really worked out. Now especially like we got Ronaldo, Cavani, Greenwood's probably better up top than he is on the right. So I would say Martial on the left all day. He gives it, he gets it. He's playing well for France. He had a bad season, but people sleep on him. Like a few years ago, he's been lights out. Like he sets goals up, he scores goals. He's a bit lazy, but I think he's more kind of like silky finesse type player. So I like him.
It's interesting you say a lot of people sleep on him because I've never known a player, well, maybe a couple of others, but who splits this like opinion across the fan base so much. Some people literally say, no, had his chance, not interested. And some people like yourself are like, don't sleep on this guy. How do you think he will see it though? Because like you said, there's a lot of players there now. We've got a really good competition for places going on there. How do you think he will see it? Do you think he could get frustrated?
I hope he has a good attitude because, you know, when Zlatan came in and took his number off him, he was a bit salty. And like, you have to rise to that occasion. You have to understand like, okay, I'm here, I need to perform. And there's been times where he has and there's been times where he hasn't. So I'm hoping he takes his chance on the left because I personally think Martial is a lot better than Rashford. I think Rashford doesn't have the end product. He's kind of like running into cul-de-sacs kind of thing. He doesn't really have it like Martial. Like Martial's sick, man. Like he gives it, he gets it, he's rolling, he's always moving, and he's not fast, but his touch is delicious. Like he's sick, man.
And you know, that's for me on a person, that is the frustrating thing when you do see Martial at it because I haven't seen that because he's been a number 9 for a while. It's almost like we forget he can play on the left. Yeah. January's going to come. Say there's £40 million on the table, put down for Martial. Would you accept it though if money was on the table?
If we could get a 6,
yeah.
Like if we could get like a sick DM, then yeah, because we have a lot of forward options, and if he's not getting game time, you know, you might as well go. But I read this morning that he might go to Barcelona, and like if Barcelona's getting him, you know, he's obviously sick. Look at Memphis. We got rid of him. He didn't ever really get a continuous run of games. He's going there, he's killing it. He killed it at Lyon, now he's killing it at Barcelona. So I think we made a lot of mistakes. Like same thing with Lukaku. Like I was a big Lukaku fan. okay, he didn't have the best first touch, whatever, bad attitude. He fell out with the team, but then he went to Inter Milan, killed it. He's at Chelsea. He scored almost every single game. Like he's a good player, and I think we have a bad habit of selling players who are good, and we just don't give them the respect they deserve. Ander Herrera is another example. Like, he's playing at PSG, he's like one of their top goal scorers, and he's not even a forward. You know what I mean? So
with McTominay and Fred instead. So I see
exactly. Like I would much prefer Ander Herrera, wouldn't you? Like in current times, like definitely over Fred. And McTominay, I don't think is much better. So
Martial stay.
Yes, sir.
Nice one. Enjoy the game,
Thanks,
bro.
Well, I think Martial, he splits opinion, like you say. He's enigmatic. When he first came, he scored 2 goals against Liverpool, right? So he'll be remembered by Man United fans just for that forever, just because we beat Liverpool. But in terms of, if you're going to be walking around like he does, you've got to be a great player. You've got to be Cantona-esque, right? Or even Berbatov, or even Sheringham. You can't produce what he's produced and walk around. No, and he's got to give us a lot more. Potentially he's a great player. He's 25 now. He's not producing it game after game after game. It looks like he's sulking. It looks like he's upset. It looks like he's not involved in it. And when you've got Ronaldo walking around, right, and all the effort and the hard work and the training that he puts into it, the extra work that he puts in it, living his life like a monk, right, and then you've got him, and you've got one that walks around, and you've got the other one walks around. When Ronaldo walks around, he produces the goods. When the other one walks around, he produces nothing at the moment.
Is that so? To give you the other side of that, so basically talking about, how you doing, boys? About maybe his mentality, and just whether he wants. I can sense you kind of questioning that, and then, like you said, in conversely, you've got Ronaldo, who is the complete opposite of that. Is it unfair to kind of put that at Martial's doorstep? Is it a case of he just can't find that consistency, as opposed to he doesn't really try, or you just think that it's an attitude thing or a mentality thing?
I think it's a mentality thing. I think life's been too easy for him. I think when you're a very, very good player, an outstanding player at a very young age, it's too easy for you. Everything comes very easy. You get into the first team, that's easy. You get into an international team, that becomes easy. When you have to fight for it, Ronaldo, if you look at Ronaldo's story, it's a story about poverty, fighting against the odds, right? This was his way out. He gave up school. This was his way out. For Ronaldo, for Martial, it's been too easy, and he's just taken it to it. He doesn't appreciate it. This is Man United. This is a
You think he doesn't appreciate it? He's had some good seasons.
No, he doesn't appreciate it. If he appreciated it, he would get off his backside. He would run around. Sometimes you've got to run around the football field. I agree with Roy Keane. If you're not playing that well, if your touch is off, if you're not getting involved in the game, run around, close people down, play yourself into the game. Play yourself into the game, play yourself into the hearts of the Man United fans.
But on the other side of that, and I'm not trying to say they're as good as each other, but I'm just using it as an example. You look at how Berbatov used to play the game.
Yeah.
Always used to look like he wasn't really putting it in, and an incredible touch, incredible player.
Yeah.
But can Martial not be that though? If he could,
He's shown glimpses of brilliance, right? We thought he was going to be the new Henry when he first came, didn't we? So he's got that in his locker. He's got it. Unfortunately, if he leaves us and he goes to PSG, and if he starts producing that, I'll be really upset, right? But I won't miss him if he goes now, because right now he's not giving anything to the team, and there are better players. There are players that will give more to the team. Jesse Lingard's reinvented himself. I argued with Man United fans in that stadium over there, right, about Lingard, because they were slagging him off, right? And I'm thinking, this kid is a great player. He's going through some difficulties, but he can come back. If he can get himself back together, he can be a great player for us again. So
the fans have had their say on Anthony Martial. I said it before, he's a player that, completely divides the fan base. Some people saying he has to stay, we need the squad depth, I don't want him to go to a PSG or a Barcelona and do bits. Other people saying, listen, Flex, he's done, he's had his opportunity, he's had more than enough chances and times to prove himself at this club. Me personally, you guys know my thoughts. I think if the right bid comes in for him in January, I think we have to look at it, especially if he hasn't played. But you can't write him off. You can't forget what he's done, like one of the other guys said. And if he gets a chance and he can take it, then it's better for Manchester United. I want players here who can make a difference, and Martial can make a difference. But if he gets to January and he hasn't played, he's got to do the best for his career. So I think Manchester United probably will listen to offers. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to change week by week. Football's a crazy game. Anyway, guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all very, very soon.